think what I remember the most about Into Your Arms is that it was, I think, like kind of the first ballad that we had ever attempted to write.
Totally. Yeah, no, it definitely was.
We have a tendency, though, to write songs like kind of slow. So like most demos that we have are like, they sound like ballads.
That was the
first.
beginning of it, and we just kept it as a ballad. Yeah, no, and it was very different than the actual version is now. The chorus was different, like, and that was like the main selling point. I remember when we were talking with Matt Squire and working on the record, and was that song. And it's funny how different that song is compared to the version that we initially started with.
I remember it being kind of a struggle to figure out instrumentation for that song and trying to figure out how we were going to start it. And then it actually came down to it was the keys, it was the piano that kind of did that riff off the beginning. And
yeah,
just kind of like went from there and like built the whole thing around it. I think in a lot of ways that song helped us. There were a couple songs on that first record that without the way that we approached it, we wouldn't have been able to like keep changing as a band. And that's one of those songs on the record that incorporates enough of those elements that were different enough for us at the time to allow us to see a different path forward, especially for second, third, fourth record.
Yeah, and it was, and out of all of the stuff on that early record, it felt, it had like a maturity to it that when we went onward, that was kind of like our step forward into newer stuff. I just remember the video for that was a complete different vibe than the previous things we had worked on. The Everything I Ask For video and the Girls Do What They Want video. It was just a totally different step, and I think that was like us kind of
trying to fake being adults.
Yeah, exactly. And faking being adults, doing the music video. We were covered in makeup, and we were like, "Oh, this is what adults do," and that's what we were we were told at the time.
Well, normally for a music video, I think they're supposed to put makeup on you, but they put so much makeup on us. It was like, there's photos of it on Google. You can see like Kenny looks like a ventriloquist dummy. It's unbelievable.
Can't move my face.
Yeah, it was funny. We were at the Ontario airport, and in my mind, that was Canada.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Dirk got his passport for the for the photo.
Yeah, we had like a whole. I remember like leading up to the video, we were like, oh, "We're going to Ontario to do this." Okay. Turns out that's in California.
Yeah, so it was a section of. I think they do just filmings there for like movies and other things. There wasn't any actual running anything. There were a lot of people who looked like they were supposed to be doing things, but yeah, it was a big Matrix simulation. Right as we released that video, the new Blackberries had come out, and we had gotten some sync with BlackBerry, and they put the song and video on every phone. It was like kind of like what they did with the U2 album, but before they did that.
We know how that works.
So yeah, but I mean, I remember people showing up and being like, "Oh yeah, I just heard of you because I bought a new phone," and I was like, "That's the craziest way you could hear about our band."
Everything I Asked For was bit of a departure because we wanted to have the beat. We were in this really bizarre phase going into the record where we like loved hip hop. We would walk out on stage to like hip hop songs. Like that's what we did, and I don't know why. It's just what we were doing, and so we wanted to incorporate some of those elements into the record. And Everything I Ask For starts with this riff that I think we kind of came up with in pre-pro, if I'm not mistaken. So
and yeah, just like the idea of it having this whole other beat and thing going on with the song,
which was like such a big deal for us at that point in time. It's like it's so common now, obviously, but yeah, we like really felt like we were onto something new and exciting and fresh for us. And at the time, I think that it definitely was, and it gave people a little bit of a different side of our band, which we always try to do on every record. So that song also was really important for us, as far as trying to do something different, just trying to make something different happen. We didn't want to.
I don't recall.
I don't think I really thought. I was just. I didn't know if we should have a swear word in a song at the time. I thought it was kind of cool and like edgy. I think 19-year-old me was like, yeah, we're absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's where my mind was at. Was like, oh, that's cool. Like,
oh, we're gonna say shit.
My mom will hate it. Perfect.
But like looking back on it, it's kind of like funny. I forget that that's even in the song sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
Mostly because we don't play it as much anymore. But in the moment, I'm sure there had to have been a discussion like, do we do this? Like, our moms are I was 19 years old. Like, my mom's gonna hear this. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen, dude?
I think there's definitely a discussion, and we probably were like wondering whether or not that would be acceptable. But yeah, I think at
the end of the day, I think we were so focused on what we wanted to do, and I don't think there's anybody that could have told us at the time to not do something. So yeah. So there it sits. I don't know if we've said it. I don't know if we've ever been asked what that chatter is, but
yeah,
I think I remember what it was. I think it was we had plugged an amp in, and it wasn't grounded, and we were getting kind of like the AM radio frequencies through it. And I think Matt just hit record because why not? And I'm almost positive that's what it was.
That I didn't remember it until you said that, but that's what it is.
So we're like, okay, drop it in there, and we've
kind of done that in other songs and other things where we'll add in talking, and a lot of times it ends up being like us talking in the studio, and it's nonsensical sometimes.
Yeah, the cool thing about recording is that like you could just put a mic on anything, you know, like when we did the last record, we're like next to the ocean, so we dropped a mic over the cliff and just recorded waves and stuff. So it's just like whatever, we just try to grab stuff as it happens, and I think that is an example of just a random happy accident. We just hit record. The idea of a time machine, I think, when we're talking about music that we've like written and recorded, is very tempting to me. But I honestly, for me, it's tough to say that I would change anything, just because that's what me at 19 years old would have done, and me at 19 years old was very sure of himself, probably to a fault, you know. But I think that you know, what we are now as a band is definitely a culmination of all the stuff that we did for every record. Good stuff, bad stuff, all the hits and misses are all in there somewhere. So I think for me the real test is the fact that we can pull them out now and play them live still, and still get a great reaction from it. So if people were like, please don't play that song, I think that maybe I would have different feelings about it. But yeah, they're definitely still fan favorites. So I'll side with the fans.
Just the experience of it all brings you to the point where we're at now. We wouldn't write the songs we do without the things we've written, and honestly, yeah, it laid the groundwork for what we do.
You probably wear less blush in the music videos.
I'll wear less blush.
Yeah. But other than that, songs are fun.